So to get started, these are the tools that we are going to be needing: our tape, our rule, our marker, our curves, and then our pen, and then our scissors. So to get started, I'm going to draw a line across the top that I'm going to use as a guide. So this straight line is going to be my across back line. My across back is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So I'll mark 7.5 here. And then I'll drop my shoulder by 1 inch, which is standard. And then take a neck width of 3 inches, which is also standard. And then I'm going to join these lines like this with a straight line. And then after that, I'm going to get my armhole. My armhole is 8 inches. My armhole is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So after marking it, I'm going to get a straight line, which is now our armhole line. And then I'm going to take my across back measurement and place it on the armhole line, so I can get a straight line from the armhole to the across back line like this. Then next, I'm going to draw my armhole. So on this straight line, I'm going to get the midpoint. So this line is 8 inches. So the midpoint for this line is 4 inches. So I'll mark the 4 inches. And then on the 4 inches, I'll go in by half an inch and also mark. And then with my curve, I'll get my armhole like this. Just put the curve on it like this and then draw the armhole. Then I'll take my straight rule and also join it to the shoulder line like this. And then after that, I'm going to get my bust measurement. I'm going to put my bust measurement on the chest line. My bust is 8.5. I put it and then add extra 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Then from the shoulder, I'm going to mark my bust measurement, which is 11 inches. And then my hip length, which is 16 inches. And then I'll mark the same measurement here, so I can get a straight line across. Like this. So now I'm going to put my measurements. So on my bust line, I'll put the same bust measurement, which is 8.5. And then add extra 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. My waist is 30. 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So I'll mark my 7.5. Add extra 1.5 inch. And then extra 1 inch for that allowance. 1 inch for that allowance. And then I'm going to join these lines. To get my dart, I'll need my nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple is 8. Okay, so 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll mark the 4 on my waist line and then mark the same 4 on my bust line. And then draw a straight line across this dot. So for the 1 inch that I left for the dart allowance, I'm going to take half on one side and then half on the other side and then join the darts like this. I hope you understand. And then now we are going to get the depth of our neck. So I'm going to mark a standard 3 inches and then draw a line across it in a box form like this. And then use my curve to get the neck. This is a round neck. And that's all for this front pattern. Now let's draft the back. So let's label this before we draft the back. Then after that, we cut this out. Cut it out like this. And that's all. Now to the back. So to draft the back measurement, we need the zip allowance because the back has a zip allowance. So I'm going to use my rule as a guide to get the zip allowance like this. My rule is 1.5 inch exactly. And then I'm going to write zip allowance there. So we are going to use this top paper as our guide for this measurement. So I'll impute my across back measurement 7.5, just like we did for the front, and then drop it by 1 inch, and then use my rule to connect that like this. Then I'll get my neck width, which is 3 inches. My neck depth, I use 2 inches. Then I'm going to use my rule to connect that to as well. Next, we are going to get our armhole. So my armhole is 8, just like I did for the front. And then I'll do the same method and then drop it. I'll draw a straight line from my shoulder to my chest line like this. Then I'm going to impute my bust measurement like this. Then I'm going to use my rule to get my armhole. Note the front armhole is deeper than the back armhole. Sorry. So my bust is 8.5. I'm going to add extra 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Next, I'm going to get my half length. The half length for my back is 14 inches. The half length for the front is longer than that of the back. Mine is 14, my front is 16. So I'm going to mark my 14 inches like this, from the shoulder like this, and then I'm going to draw a straight line across it like this. Then I'm going to get my waist measurement, which is 7.5, and mark 1 inch for that allowance, and then 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm just trying to get my chest line and get a straight line that I can start my darts on. So that's our chest line. So my darts, as usual, 4 inches. So half inch on both sides. This dart is going to start from this chest line. So I have to measure the dart 2 on the chest line and then connect the dart like this. Then I'm going to label this the waistline, the chest line. Then I'm going to name this the back. I'm going to join the sides together. And then we are done for the back pattern. So we are just going to cut this out. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as I'll be posting new videos every week. So we are done for both the front and the back, and here are they. I'm going to label this the front, and then we are done. Until we meet in my next class again, please don't forget to subscribe.